Okay, I'm Shannon Schultz again, special education instructional coach for Fond du Lac School District, and this is take 2, different kid, on practicing middle school conferring. This is my son Alex, and Alex, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Alex, and I am going into 8th grade.
Okay, so Alex and I talked a little bit this morning to get ready for our conference together. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, because this is summer, it's a little bit different than how a school year would look. I want Alex just to give me a little bit of background on the book that he has been working on this summer.
Okay, so there are a forest full of cats that are separated into different clans, and there's this one cat who lives with people, so it's domestic, and then it chooses to go into the forest and join part of the clan, which is known as Thunder Clan. So now he is training to be a warrior for Thunder Clan.
Okay, so Alex, I want to compliment you. First of all, I would look at this book and have absolutely zero interest. I would look at it and see a cat and think, all right, that looks weird. But that's okay, that's just my opinion. But anyway, no, I want to compliment you because you've just started this series and you seem to be enjoying it and getting into it, even though it looks weird to me. Okay? So Alex, this morning, if we were in a classroom, you would have had the teacher teaching you a lesson or a mini lesson for the day. So we did do a little bit of talking, and do you remember what we talked about this morning? Theme, and finding and figuring out what the theme in our book is. So to do that, I'm going to use my book that I'm working on as an example. And as I said in Max's conference, I'm working on the book Nothing Special, which is book 2 of Jeff Herbach's series, which started with Stupid Fast. And I'm pretty new into this book because I just finished book 1. So I can tell you from book 1, though, the theme is really about the major change that goes on with the main character, Felton Reinstein. Felton goes from, they call him Joke to Jack. He was a nerd or not well known, and then all of a sudden the gym teacher discovers he has this amazing talent for running, and then he gets on the football team, yada yada yada. Oh, he's Mr. Cool, Mr. Popular. So it really shows how he changed. So as I'm starting book 2, what I'm seeing is some not very pleasant changes, I guess I would see, in Felton from what I knew about him in book 1 to book 2. So in particular, he dropped his old friends, and his first friend was his first and really his only friend was named Gus. And so he really dropped Gus as a friend because he's, the cool football track star guy. And so as I'm reading, I'm paying attention to how Felton is showing these changes from book 1. Like I said, I'm very new into book 2, but it's not very pleasant from what I'm seeing, and I'm only, like I said, on page 2. So I'm going to just read a little bit to show another change. And besides his change in friendships, he's changed how he's treating his family. Felton has a younger brother named Andrew, and Andrew's a very talented musician. So all of a sudden, Felton remembers that Andrew has a concert. So I'm going to just read to you a little bit how it shows how Felton changed. So just to give you, and one thing is that I keep cracking up in the story because the author Jeff Herbach is from my hometown, and he has hometown references. So, holy shit, Andrew, I shouted. What? Cody asked. I looked at my phone, 7:10. There was a text from Jerry. Where are you? My throat clenched. Oh no, I gotta go. You need a ride? Cody asked. I shook my head and jumped out of my seat. Karpinski called after me. You still owe for pizza? I ran out the door, grabbed my bike out of Cody's truck, and angry Hammy and all pumped it all the mother way to middle school, going the wrong way up 2nd Street for half the trip. Dumbass cars honking at me. Okay, so I'm going to stop you right there. So one thing, you noticed I did do some swearing, and that's straight from the text. And the reason I used it, and I picked that example, is one, we're mature, and you've heard swear words before, and number two, it really shows a change in his character, because he probably wouldn't have talked that way in the first place, in the first book, and he wouldn't have forgot about his brother's concert. Okay? So now, Alex, in your book, are you seeing a point where you're seeing one of your main characters change?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that.
So before the main character cat, chose to join the Warriors,
Mm-hmm.
he was friends with this other cat they were like neighbors,
Mm-hmm.
and so the main cat told his friend that he was thinking about joining going into the forest and joining the clan,
Mm-hmm.
and so he left his friend
Mm-hmm.
and his owner to go pursue his dream.
Okay, and Alex, I'm going to redirect our conversation, and this is my mistake and not Alex's. I'm going to redirect Alex to the theme of the story, and my theme is how it wasn't a very pleasant change. So what would you describe? I want to back you up. What are you seeing as an overall theme in your book?
Self-preservation.
Self-preservation. What does that mean?
To survive and do what's best for you.
Okay, survive and do what's best for you. So, and again, I apologize, this is my error. I'm going to back me up. So if I were talking about self-preservation, in my book, Felton is preserving himself as being the cool guy, even if it means missing out on his brother's concert. Do you see, so now I'm going to refocus Alex too. Alex, do you see how characters are changing related to your theme of self-preservation? Yeah. Do you have an example you can find easily in your book? Or where are you right now? Okay. Why don't you okay, I'm gonna have you show me where you're at. Okay, why don't you just read out loud a little bit to all of us?
Other strange dark smells. This time there was no cat scent, but an odor that reminded him of his own two-leg home, and the rumbling was getting louder. A ceaseless roar that made the ground tremble and arched in Firepaw's ears. This is the Thunder Path, meowed Tigerclaw. Firepaw followed as Lionheart led them toward the edge of the forest. Then he sat down and all four cats looked out. Firepaw could see a gray path like a river cutting its way through the forest. Stretched ahead of him so far that the trees on the other side seemed blurred and tiny. Firepaw shuddered at the bitter smell that rose from the path. Next moment he leaped back, his fur bristling as a gigantic monster roared past. The branches of the trees on either side flapped madly in the wind that chased the speeding monster. Firepaw sat around the other cats, his eyes wide, unable to speak. He had seen paths like this before, near his old two-leg home, but never this wide nor with monsters so swift and fierce. Scared me to the first time, remarked Greypaw, but at least it helps to keep Shadow Clan warriors from crossing into our territory. The Thunder Path runs for many paw steps along our boundary line. And don't worry, those monsters never seem to leave the Thunder Path. You'll be fine as long as you don't go too near.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. Thank you. So who in that passage that you just shared with us really showed self-preservation? If you're thinking about self-preservation, Alex, as an overall theme, which one of your characters would you say demonstrated that he knew or he was working towards that self-preservation?
I think Tiger Claw.
Was he the one that was leading them?
Yeah.
Okay, and see, this is the part where, admittedly, I would get confused because I would have said Firepaw. But was he not the leader? Okay. So tell me now, say it again now, which one was it?
Tiger Claw.
Okay. So how was he demonstrating in that little short passage that you just read with us? That self-preservation.
He knew about like the path.
He knew about the path.
And so like he stopped so all the other people in his like little group wouldn't go into it and like get hurt.
Okay, perfect. So Alex, as you go on reading through this, I want you to continue to pay attention and see if self-preservation remains as the theme. Okay, think about your characters and think about, is that what they're continuing to do, is work on that self-preservation of their clan, is it called?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do I want you to do as you keep reading?
See if the theme changes over time.
Okay, based on
Like what happens
with the
characters.
great. Thanks, Alex.